everybody. Mike McFarland here, sitting in McFarland's corner. I'm your host of everything that goes on here in this studio. Public rundown for you the day after Christmas. If I didn't wish you a Merry Christmas to you, Merry Christmas to your families and friends, and Merry Christmas to all. A lot changed over the weekend, really, with the rain that we had right before Christmas. The first thing that changed tremendously was the lake. We were around 400.64, and we are now 400.25. What you got to remember, 401.25. What you have to remember is that for every 0.25, this is to the hundredths, every 0.25 is equal to 3 inches in the lake. So we literally rose probably almost 7 inches. From 400.75 to 401.25 would have been 6 inches, and we were at 400.64. So we rose minimum 6 inches in the lake right before the weekend kicked off. Now it was cold. Cold rain, cold water. 52, 54 is the parameter of the temperature, at 0 to 1 clarity, 0 being in all of the creeks in the backs where the flooding came in, and 1 being down mid-lake south where it hadn't affected near as much. Now, the temperatures being below 55 degrees is winter fishing for sure. It's slow, with an exception. Down deep has not been affected. And this last big 6-inch increase in the lake level, we had 3 inches of rain here in about 24 hours. Washed out all the creeks, turned to muddy cold water, and it pushed a lot of those fish into the creeks and creek swings, as we always talk about in the wintertime. Mark Peck loved it, the creek swings and bends. And so it's really definitely time to be focusing on creek swings and bends. I had a friend of mine who absolutely crushed them the day before the rain, and I didn't talk to him after the rain, but he absolutely crushed them, and I'll give you this, in 18 to 22 feet of water on creek swings and creek bends. Soft plastics, Texas rigs and jigs and things like that were obviously what he was using. Down deep like that. There are some tips and tricks to what he was doing. There's some very key important factors to what he was doing. But that was the deal, 18 to 22 feet in the creek swings. Nothing shallow. So I wouldn't go throwing your rattle traps or your jerk baits shallow or any of that kind of stuff right now, especially this week. I woke up this morning, had everything frosted over, freeze over, had a blue heron on my pond who literally was tucked up like he got frozen solid as a statue. You need to just focus this week, because it's not going to warm trend up, on deep water. That's highly what I recommend. The other aspect would be to go to other lakes. There are quite a few other lakes around the vicinity within an hour drive of Lake Fork area that can produce decent fishing in the wintertime, even when it's cold. Lake Welsh being the power plant lake, it's warmer water than the rest. That could be very effective right now, this week while you're here. And lakes like Athens, Coffee Mill, Holbrook, the lakes that have vegetation. Okay, vegetation is a great insulator. Vegetation not only just filters the water and makes oxygen, etc., but it absorbs sunlight, and matted vegetation specifically can act as a blanket for the bass. It can really warm trend quickly in that specific area. So if you have matted grass, for example, at Lake Athens, and the sun is shining on it, and by mid-afternoon, that area could be warm trended considerably. And the fish won't necessarily be on fire feeding, but they'll be in there warm trending their body. They'll be in there like turtles absorbing the warmth, and that can become active and more catchable. So I would suggest potentially that you think about, other lakes. You may try Lake Fork. Here's what I like to do this time of year. If you're here visiting, Number one, hopefully you're staying at Lake Fork Marina, the famous, world famous Lake Fork Marina. You're eating at Jamie's restaurant. The food is so good at Jamie's, and after you have lunch or dinner, you finish up with some of their famous pies. But here's what I would do. I would either sleep in and fish middays, afternoons, and evenings if you're here for Fork. Or my favorite thing to do is get up a little early and drive to Lake Welsh and warm your day up fishing Lake Welsh. When I say warm your day up, I don't mean temperature-wise. You're going to be cold. But fish the morning while it's cold on the power plant lake. Fish, 2, 3, 4 hours. Get there at 7, fish till 11. Pack up and head to Fork for the afternoon. Split your day. And that way you get a chance to go have a morning session where if you fish at Welsh right, Lake Welsh right, you can run into some good fishing there. They're not running the power plant near as much as normal, so it's not as warm as normal, but it's still warm water. And you can have a good day there. Just go fishing on Lake Welsh, okay? But that's what I like to do this time of year is Welsh in the morning and Lake Fork in the afternoon, midday, evening. Let Lake Fork warm up just a little bit, all right? A few other tips if you're fishing Lake Fork. Fish concrete afternoons if you're doing that trend, like I said. Either deep, like I originally said, or fish concrete, fish boat ramps that have had sun on them all day. Think warm. You need to have something where there's some kind of warm trend. And that's kind of what I got for you for a public rundown. If you would like more, if you want to know, like I said, I had a friend of mine who absolutely crushed them deep. You want to know the details of what we do, what McFarland Fishing does on guide trips, what any information and intelligence that I could share with you that is in more depth, more descriptive. It's not just creek swings. There's some things that have to go on in those creek swings. The colors of the baits, the way we're fishing. If you want the juice, you want the real juice, not just a basic fishing report, then I'm inviting you to come subscribe to my members only channel. I shoot 8 public videos a month, and I shoot 8 members only videos a month. The members only fishing report is much more detailed, right to the T. I spill my guts. I tell exactly what we're doing, exactly where we're going, whether it's Fork, Welsh, Athens, and I tell you exactly how to catch the fish. So it's real simple. Look in the description below this video. You got to click out of the video, look in the description, and you'll see a link for members only. Click on the link, follow the process. It's real simple, and it's costs less a month than a bag of baits. Okay, it's I think it's $4.99, either $6.99. YouTube kind of regulates that. It's either $4.99 or $6.99. But I'm looking at a bag of baits right here that's $6.99. And I know we buy that stuff all the time. So 8 fishing reports a month for $6.99. And they're premium reports. Also in those reports, I include surrounding lakes all the way into Dallas. I provide lakes from 5 different guides. I provide information on Palestine, O.H. Ivy, Hubbard, Lake Lavon, Possum Kingdom. It really is a good in-depth, even striper fishing, Tawakoni. And believe it or not, if you're here, sometimes you want to just fill your freezer with fish. I provide crappie fishing reports in that members only channel as well. But that's kind of the gist of what's going on in this week's public rundown. I want to give a shout out to J. Hodge Chevrolet, Skeeter Bass Boats, Diamond Sports Marine, Yamaha, Texas Insider Fishing Report, Florida Insider Fishing Report with Captain Rick Murphy, Bree and his crew there. Murphy's Law Fishing. Sport fishing down out of Florida is incredible fishing. Look him up. Abu Garcia, Berkeley Power Pole, Bass Assassin, Bajito Sunglasses, Tie Lines UV, Lake Fork Trophy Lures, Impact Lures, Sandtone Lures, Real Time Rods, Magic Reaction. That's some good stuff right there. Lake Fork Marina, Jamie's Restaurant where the pie is, Go Fish Lures, and Go Fish Cafe. Steve's Prop Shop, the Original Rod Socks, the Sign Shop, Burning Stump Lodge, Lake Fork Resort. That's another nice place to stay. If you don't find facility at Lake Fork Marina, check out Lake Fork Resort and Burning Stump. Those are good places that are real close. Other than that, again, Merry Christmas to you. The New Year's coming. But before that, I'll be back Thursday to give you a much more detailed fishing report. I'm Mike McFarland, host of McFarland's Corner, the Lake Fork Guide, giving it to you real.